if a person who has a formal degree in any particular branch, say engineering or any other subject, if he doesn't solve the problems that pertain to that particular field, his education is incomplete. So what can be the mechanism to impart this type of education? Yes, this is fact that our institutions at present are not ready in terms of their infrastructure, in terms of their manpower, and so many other factors to impart that education. But then comes the role of collaborations between the institutions. A mention was made about the technical institutions and universities and colleges. So, new education policy lays emphasis on making these borders that have been created between these institutions. These borders need to be made irrelevant. So there has to be, what I mean by my statement, by stating this thing, we have to closely coordinate with each other. There are certain difficulties in getting linked to these institutions. What are those difficulties? Say if we take industry as an example, very rarely you will find that industries come towards us, come to institutions. What are the reasons? Probably they don't have that confidence. There is a trust deficit that exists between the industry and the institutions. शायद इंडस्ट्री को ये लग रहा है कि if we go with our problems to the institutions, they are not in a position to solve our problems. Probably to a reasonable extent, they are right. And academicians, we too are in our isolated those lands. We too never made serious and sincere efforts to go closer to them. What are their problems? At least study, critically analyze those problems. Probably we have not made sincere and honest efforts. New educational policy lays emphasis on this thing. Get closer to the industry, study their problems, bring them to your institutions, bring those problems to your lab, work on them. So that's how a healthy collaboration, a healthy cooperation can take place between industries and institutions, or for that matter any other stakeholders. I think the government agencies, my specific request to Dr. Sudarshan, Mr. Sudarshan, is that these institutions and industries as well, they need to be incentivized. Let us incentivize research scholars. Let us incentivize those teachers. Let us incentivize those students who are really ready to work on those real world problems that exist on the ground. Similarly, industry too needs to be incentivized. I'll not spell out how government will incentivize those, but they need to be incentivized to welcome research scholars, students to work in their say units or in those factories. And then another submission which I would like to make to government agencies: kindly facilitate internships. Say, in general, not only in institutions, we have a demographic advantage. Majority of our population, they are in that working age group, they are in that productive age group. So this manpower can be utilized. The utilization of this energetic manpower, it's not merely by sending them to colleges and universities to earn those degrees. This manpower can be utilized in different ways. When our students go to Europe, go to America, along with their studies, they easily earn their pocket money. They are not completely dependent on a significant number of those students who go outside India. A significant number of those students, they earn a part of livelihood. They earn some amount which they require. not 100%. घर वालों पे उतना ज़्यादा बोझ नहीं बनते हैं. I think that the linkages, again there is question of linkages which can solve this problem. This manpower can be utilized in the industry, can be utilized in different ways. But this internship, we have been sending students for internship, but if the internship is not paid, ना ही इसकी evaluation ठीक तरह से होती, ना ही students वहाँ sincerely काम करते हैं, and nor they are being monitored by the agency, by the industry wherever they go. If they are paid, see, if I am not correct, a significant proportion of our students, they come from that strata, economic strata. All of us, they make their both ends meet with great difficulty. If just an amount of 2,000 goes in the pocket of my student in 1 month, that can make huge difference. Why can't we convince, why can't government agencies convince the industry, kindly provide this sort of training along with some sort of stipend or whatever you call it, honorarium or that. So that will have dual advantages. Our students will have a real training in the industry. That's one, that will impart some skill to them. Industry will get a very good manpower. And then a third objective will be that our student, it will meet his requirements to some extent. Then emphasis was already laid between these, close collaboration between these institutions. I think jointly, once we sit jointly, at least identify, critically analyze those obstacles, those obstructions which are in our in our way of imparting skill education, I think that's very essential.
I congratulate to the University of Kashmir for organizing this national conference on skill development, entrepreneurship, etc. That's a good initiative. We must appreciate and we must devote time to them and give them our appreciation. Also, whatever we know about this item, and we should share with them our experience, etc. I just say one thing, Professor Khurshid was telling here that we have a need of skill development in our country. We believe that India is now highest populated country in the world. We have surpassed China. That's good. The population should not become our weakness, but it should become strength. And hopefully the NEP 2020, when it has come, is a good initiative towards making our students global citizens. And they should not have only these technical skills, but they should be good citizens of the world, so that they can be fit anywhere in the world, in any job. I can give you some examples later on, but my idea is that we must have a system approach to skill development. And if we have a system approach, then we should have a holistic approach for the skill development for our society, for our country, for our region. That should be the approach. Because individual approach cannot make us good skill country at all. And if we develop a system of skill development, we should consider our needs for next 50 years. Next 50 years, what India needs, where the skill development is required. We only understand that skill development is just carpentry, just plumbing, just masonry, just understand other things, etc. There are certain things beyond this now, which will be surprised to see that skill development exists at PhD level also. Now, if we go to the system approach and we want to have skill development to be developed for the country, what should we do? What are its phases? I consider skill development starts at primary education, secondary education, higher education, technical education. That's what Ministry of Education is also looking into that aspects. Immediately now you will see Ministry of Education. Yesterday we were discussing with our National Executive on the education policy on some of the issues like internship implementation in IITs, NITs and university. You will be surprised to know that university has, UGC has approved 2 credit course of internship in the villages, which will be implemented through one scheme of Government of India. So such things are coming up. At the most of the skills should be taught to the students at primary level. You will be surprised to know if I tell you I am a skilled person because of my primary education. That was given to me long back, 50 years ago. I know so many skills. I am a skilled labor. I can work as a professor, I can work as a technician, I can work as a labor, I can work as some other dash dash dash. But where from I have learned that? From the education. The robust education system which we had previously was embedding technical skills in us, unwantedly or wantedly. Please understand this. It was so beautiful system of education that it needed revisiting for some time, but it was not done. Luckily we had now 2020 the education policy, and the primary education was also able to give skill into the students. And right now from the beginning of primary education, you have to embed the skills into the mind of into the body of a boy and into the body of a female and male. He or she should become a skilled person from the childhood. Then if he goes to the secondary education, the education policy should be such that he should become a skilled person. If he comes out of the university, if he comes out of the college, he should be able to earn his bread at least. If he is not a job provider, but he should not go after somebody that I want a job. I never believe in that my students should go to anybody and ask him for a job. I will give some data of my students. This is very precise, and the education system should be such at secondary level that even if student drops out from the education, he should be able to earn his bread through skill. Then if you go to the university, higher education, which is the primary goal of our education of this where we are staying today, is we have got arts courses, we have got science courses, we have got engineering courses in University of Kashmir, we have got other courses. All of them should carry a skill. And it is up to the people of University of Kashmir who are in the framing of the Senate policies or policies of education in the University of Kashmir. How can they develop a skilled labor in Urdu? How can they develop a skilled graduate in Persian, in English, in other languages?
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that skill development during the last decade or so has attracted the attention of all. The Government of India, we know that during the last decade or so has taken a number of initiatives and has launched a number of programs and schemes aiming towards the skill development in the country. The state governments at their own also have come up with number of programs and number of schemes and aiming to achieve the skill development of their young generation. And universities have not, lagged behind. Universities have also been in the forefront. They have taken a very lead role in view of their very strategic, place in the skill development programs. Universities, including our university, has taken a number of initiatives. And one such initiative is this, that the creation of Center for Capacity Building and Skill Development. Over and above this, the university right from the beginning, not today only, over a certain period of time, the university has rewritten its academic programs, wherein they have laid a major focus on skill development of our graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that skill development is the need of the hour. There is no denying the fact that our economy can progress only when we have skilled, workforce available locally. And skill development has achieved a much more significance because of the rapid technological developments that are taking place every day. And we see that the economic landscape is shifting, where we require more skilled workforce than merely an educated graduates or postgraduates. We also know that our country, and it is not only our country, the third world countries are suffering from the growing unemployment problem. In view of that fact also, that the significance of skill development program is getting much more emphasis. And the most serious issue that actually has forced our policy planners to have a greater focus on skill development is that our academic educational institutions have not been able to create a pool of graduates who are readily employable. The problem today is that the educational institutions do produce millions of graduates, but majority of them are found not employable. Why? Because there is a gap between what is being taught in a typical academic institution and what the market requires. Ladies and gentlemen, but equally the fact is that the initiatives that have been taken over a certain period of time towards skill development, everything is not well with all these initiatives. There are certain issues, there are certain challenges which needs to be identified and which needs to be debated. And then here this conference need to debate all those issues and then come up with the strategic interventions that will help us to overcome those difficulties. And I have identified out of my own experience and out of my own little bit knowledge about the education, the skill orientation and everything. I would like to highlight certain issues which to me are important, but you are the real experts, you deal with this, you are the best judges then to decide about those. I personally feel that so far as the current scenario is concerned towards the skill development, there is a kind of a role overplaying. We all know that we have certain technical institutions which are actually mandated to develop the technical skills. Like we have in our own state, IITs, ITIs, polytechnics, and then there are many other technical institutions which have been actually created with the sole purpose that they will create a manpower who are fully equipped with the technical skills. Then we have another group of institutions, that is the academic educational institutions. Now the fundamental question which particularly the higher educational institutions, when I talk about the academic educational institutions, this is the one point where we need to debate and to decide that we have to demarcate the role between those technical institutions and the academic institutions. We need to clearly, there has not to be a role overplaying. Say suppose we have now ITIs in almost in all the districts. We have the polytechnics in all the districts, and there are many technical institutions. So this forum has to decide that what should be the role play of the academic educational institutions, particularly the universities and the colleges, and what should be the role of those technical institutions. That is one very important issue. The second very important issue is in academic institutions, where the main mandate of the academic institutions is to award the academic degrees. Now, over a period of time, we have been emphasizing on skill also. And skill courses have been integrated into the academic program as well. But I personally feel that there are many academic programs which have inherent skill orientation. Perhaps we have not been able to have an equal focus on that inherent skill orientation, how we develop that inherent skill orientation. Say, suppose I'll give an example. Any BCom student, I belong to a stream of commerce and management. Any BCom student, if he is not taught properly how to do the accounting and how to operate the accounting software, that is the skill that is oriented in the program itself. Perhaps we need to have a balance between the two. New additional skill that we will have to grant, and equally important is that we should try to develop that inherent skill among the students also. The other very important issue that which you all need to decide and to come up with a strategy, how to develop a robust partnership with the industry, the government and other organizations which are involved in this. Unless and until there is a robust relationship, a partnership between these, perhaps we may not be able to achieve the maximum that we want to achieve. The fourth, the most important another question is that are our academic educational institutions, do they have the capacity, the competence and the resources to organize the skill development programs in a very effective and in a very meaningful manner? My experience is this, that when we integrate these skill programs with the academic programs, my experience tells me that while designing the courses, when those designing of those courses are left to the academicians, they ultimately end up making it by the name a skill development, a skill course, but then it becomes ultimately an academic program. That is one very important. Then the other very important is, do they have the resources, particularly the technical manpower who can train the students? And our experience has been that ultimately the training and the education is given to the academicians. And the very purpose of introducing that course in that academic program perhaps is getting lost. So you need to debate on this issue also and come up with some strategic intervention or some kind of a mechanism which will help us to achieve the goals.
Skill development is cornerstone of any progress and prosperity in any society. I am sure this conference will not only address the crucial aspect of our country's development, but also pave the way for more brighter and empowered future of our citizens. India is the fastest growing economy in the world, and we are blessed with demographic dividend. More than 65% population is below 35 years of age. Jammu Kashmir is also bestowed with predominantly young population. We have 69% population below 35 years of age. So these contexts make skill development system crucial for economic growth and human resource development. I have been asked to be brief and give you an idea what we are doing in the skill development department. The department is contributing towards the socio-sustenance of industrial sector. As already has been told by many speakers, we are providing skilled manpower for industry through a network of 84 industrial training institutes and 29 polytechnics. We are also implementing various schemes of Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India, and some UT level schemes also. Craftsman training scheme, apprenticeship training scheme, skill strengthening for industrial value enhancement, STRIVE, submission on polytechnics under coordinated action for skill development, community development through polytechnics, and so on. The outcome of these schemes has been very, very phenomenal in our J&K. All our institutes are now equipped with requisite infrastructure, machineries, latest toolkits, ICT labs, language labs, smart boards, various facilities for trainees. The result has also been very encouraging. Our enrollment has gone manifold, especially female enrollment in the recent years. We offer a very wide variety of courses, ranging from short-term options to long-term diploma programs. From basic trades, mason, plumber, electrician, machinist, turner, to advanced level computer courses, computer operator programming assistant, software applications, multimedia and special effects, event management, digital photography, and IoT, smart agriculture, and many more. The UT administration has established 2 centers which are called Center for Invention, Innovation, Incubation and Training, CIIT, one at Jammu and one at Baramulla. These centers have been established in partnership with industry-led consortium as a joint venture between J&K government and Tata Technologies Limited. These state-of-the-art centers comprise most of the prerequisites that are essential for undergraduate and postgraduate students for employability and placement in multinational companies. The center, I am sure that most of you will not be knowing this. These centers are equipped with cutting-edge technology tools, equipment, modern machines, contemporary software, which are essential for Industry 4.0. These centers can also cater to the research opportunities for postgraduate and PhD research scholars in multidisciplinary domains of Industry 4.0 by imparting skill training in latest technologies, digital transformation in manufacturing, production and design, related sectors, value creation processes, robotics, mechatronics, Internet of Things, 3D printing, electric vehicle design, with the help of expert faculty from Tata Technologies. So you see, we cater to a wide range of courses and candidates, students with varied backgrounds. The recent initiative of the University of Kashmir, which was previously, named as the State Resource Center of University of Kashmir. State Resource Center, which was established way back around 3-4 decades ago, and which was supported by the Ministry of HRD and governed and regulated by the University of Kashmir. But keeping in view the change which is taking place globally, nationally, whether in the society or in the academic institutions, the mandate, vision and mission of this center has been changed, and it has been, given new mandate, new objectives, aiming at the capacity building and skill development. And we have had so many deliberations in kind of formulating the objectives, mandate, and equally we thought of getting the, working with the allied stakeholders who are very important to us, whether it's the Director of Skill Development, the Ministry, the NISBET, or the allied institutions. And also to look at what is the point of view from the research scholars, the academicians, the practitioners who work in diverse fields, and see how best we can know and understand what are the concerns or what can be the future strategies so far as the skill program is concerned, so far as the skill development is concerned. And it is in light of that, we have organized this 2-day national conference. For the information of our distinguished guests, we have the representation of scholars from the Jammu University, Jamia Millia, Agricultural University, Kashmir University, and from diverse departments where the scholars are going to present their papers focusing on new education policy, skill development, women, gender, and diverse areas will be discussed in this 2-day national conference. So we are hopeful that the outcome of this conference, we are going to have new ideas and new strategies which can be used in the upcoming programs which we can introduce at the university level or in collaboration with the Ministry of the Skill Development. Ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you that this is an era of, skill. We need skilled people. I mean, conventional degrees, we get the conventional knowledge, we get the conventional degrees, we move from the universities and colleges, but what is the demand? What is there in the market? Are our education degrees in tune with what the changes is happening globally? I think that is what has been highlighted in the new education policy as well. Whether they talk of incorporating the vocational training at the school level, or for that matter, introducing the skill programs at the higher education level as well, so that we have the students, we have the product who are fit to what is happening in and around the society. India is moving very fast so far as the skill development is concerned. The aim of Atmanirbhar Bharat is something we can be, self-reliant, we can be independent, provided we acquire, learn the skills, and not only become the, job providers, but job creators as well, so that we can provide jobs to others as well. So that is the context with which we are here today, to do an analysis of, what are the skills which we require, to look into the training aspects which are required for our students, for other stakeholders, to introduce programs which are very relevant, so that in addition to the education which we give them, our youth, our students become employable and generate employment.